Hi, I'm Meagan Gauthier, here to talk to you today about labor market trends, challenges, and considerations. Every year in the U.S., we celebrate Labor Day, a day to recognize that it is labor, people, who create success and generate prosperity. Yet, we are hearing from our customers that they are continually struggling to hire and retain warehouse and fulfillment talent. How can the economy remain strong if there's not enough workers? Let's dig a little into the labor market trends, challenges these present, and possible solutions. So the first trend is the aging and shrinking labor force. Already in 2022, the median age in the U.S. was 39, and by 2030, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics presents 23% of the U.S. population will be 65 or older. So what challenge does this present to your business? Manual labor is a young man's or woman's game, but we're getting older as a country. Think, especially too, if you have temperature zones in your warehouses, those cold temps are brutal manual work. With us getting older and 25% of the U.S. population approaching retirement age, we will see labor participation rates drop over 1% from 2020 to 2030. In other numbers, this means losing over 5 million potential workers nationwide. These types of statistics are exactly the same trends being discussed at every supply chain event. Additionally, the unemployment rate has remained below 5% since fall 2021. If you're running a manual facility, how many of those unemployed people or those looking to change jobs would you guess are feeling young enough to lift 50 pounds over and over or walk several miles every day across the building? The obvious challenge here is that the labor pool is small. It's gonna get even smaller and will be even smaller for your business, specifically if the jobs require difficult manual labor. The second trend is job openings are outpacing unemployed workers. Since 2022, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has seen that there are more national job openings than unemployed workers, at a current difference of about 2 million. In fact, based on their data going back to 2004, the only times where this was flipped was during significant economic recessions. So, barring another recession, we should expect openings to outpace unemployed workers. So as you can see, when jobs outpace people, people can be choosier about where they work, so you'll need to try harder to be an appealing workplace. You can see how this has already had an impact on rising wages nationwide for the past few years. So the challenge this presents, you're competing with more and more businesses over fewer potential employees. So if your pay, benefits, company culture, if these things aren't competitive, it's going to be tough for you and your business. The third trend is shifts in the job market. Another consequence of our aging population is that sectors like healthcare, social services, restaurants, travel, and hospitality will need a larger workforce to meet the demands of retired baby boomers. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that 3.3 million jobs will be added to healthcare and social services alone by 2030. Technology, IT, and renewable energy sectors are also expected to experience a significant growth by 2030, which, by the way, is right around the corner. It's expected that another well over 2 million jobs will be added here as well. The challenge that this presents is if you're not operating in one of these sectors, it's going to be even harder to persuade someone to work for you when there's growing markets to work in, which means the growing sectors will be the attractive, stable jobs with the good pay. Here's a visual way to sum up the 3 labor market trends. Imagine this labor pool represents the entire available labor pool here in the US, both those unemployed and those looking for somewhere else to go. Because we're getting older, the potential labor pool for manual operations goes down. So we have to cut out the people without the strength and vitality to do the job. Because the number of employed people is less than the number of job openings, you're up against tough competition. So now, we have to cut out the people who, when presented with options, choose someone else. Maybe for pay, maybe for other reasons. And then because healthcare, tech, etc. are growing markets, more people will become educated and trained in that kind of work. So the pool will get even smaller because we have to consider the people who won't even consider you because they're training for something else. This leaves a much smaller pool to fight over. That's it. That's all you have. Now, there's one more labor challenge we're hearing from customers. All those labor market trends point to challenges for hiring. But the other labor challenge we're hearing from customers is, you guessed it, retention. According to Pew Research data, job resignation rates overall spiked to historic highs in 2021 and 2022 across all age groups. And the increase was most drastic for employees under 35 years old. And remember, manual labor is historically a younger person's game. The big challenge that these levels of resignation present, even if you're able to hire someone, it's almost just as hard to keep them. And if you're having to spend time to hire and train new people regularly, not only does this cost money, because time is money, but you also lose employee knowledge and the ability to do tasks efficiently until a new person is up to pace. So let's talk through two solutions. One option, you can keep bumping up pay and benefits to attract people from the very small competitive labor force pool. This could include increasing hourly and overtime pay, having a signing day and 30-day bonuses, increased PTO and holidays, fully covering employee assistance programs, improvements in insurance offerings, higher retirement contributions, and more. You could also do morale boosters like monthly food truck lunches or birthday recognitions. If you go down this route, it's important to gather data and insights to prove that these programmatic changes are actually reducing turnover for you and having ROI. If this is the only solution you pursue, I foresee 3 potential problems. Number 1, because competition is so high, it's not unreasonable to think that other companies will mirror or up whatever offerings you've put forward. It could exacerbate the strain on bottom lines from rising wages. Number 2, it doesn't address the challenge of only needing a very specific type of employee that can do difficult manual labor. And number 3, it doesn't necessarily make your staff more productive or improve your overall warehouse operational efficiencies. It keeps things steady, but it isn't forward-looking and investing into an advanced future for your business. Another solution is automation for your warehouse. So let's quickly look through 5 ways automations makes a difference for your labor challenges. The first benefit is labor needs are more manageable, so you can more consistently stay fully staffed. The second benefit, you widen your labor pool with ergonomic workstations like our Pick Center 1, Slot Stacks Palletizer, and our decanting stations. Now, this one connects nicely to TGW's foundation philosophy, which is all about focusing on people. This philosophy not only relates to how we treat our own employees, but how we design our automation and solutions. And for companies with disability and inclusion hiring programs, this benefit is appealing. The third benefit, with less back-breaking work, people are generally happier about their jobs and less inclined to look elsewhere. Yay, retention! Number 4, you increase the productivity of your people, and it's all about the people. There's an industry rule of thumb that in a manual warehouse, pickers typically spend 60% of their time walking and 40% of their time actually picking. With our Pick Center 1, all the walking is eliminated. Now, if we spend 100% time picking, that's a 150% increase in picking productivity. So essentially, you've empowered one person to complete the work of 2.5 people in a manual warehouse just by eliminating the walking. The fifth benefit is related to training. Intuitive automation technologies decrease time spent training. You can get someone going full speed on our Pick Center 1 in 20 minutes or less. This also opens up the ability to spend time on cross-training employees, which is also a morale booster. It makes them more valuable. We've found that for many of our customers, the savings on labor wages, training, and retention programs makes up the biggest portions of their ROI for automation. They find that it's easier to prove the effectiveness of automation on their hiring and retention costs than changes to benefits and pay. Now, in reality, of course, this is not an either-or thing between these two solutions. As more and more companies automate, benefits and pay program changes will still be valuable for keeping your workforce happy. Okay, so I've got 2 final thoughts to close this session out. Number 1, people are and will continually be a company's biggest asset. The better your people, the better your success will be. This is true no matter what labor market and economic trends are happening. Value your people. Finally, we believe that automation is the most effective way to immediately address your labor challenges. Not only does automation allow you to broaden the talent pool you can hire from, remember my great pool drawings here, it allows you to empower your people through cross-training and upskilling as they interact with robotics and automation technologies. Thanks for joining this digital session. If you'd like to talk more about solutions or our Pick Center 1 or your labor challenges or any other operational challenges you're up against, please feel free to email me at meagan.gauthier, looks like Gauthier, but it's Gauthier, at tgw-group.com.